we've been making music for 10 years, and we released our first 2 records, and then we had a bit of internal trouble with the record company that we were signed to, so we had a few years where we weren't able to release music, which was obviously very, very stressful for us. And but for us, we just continued to write in studios and just focus on the creativity. And from there, we were able to meet up with Sony Music, and we signed with them. We were able to release a 3rd album in which we had written our leading single "You Ruined Me" and started touring again. And then we find ourselves here. We're working on our 4th album currently. We just released our first single, "In My Blood," from that. And we're just continuing to challenge ourselves as songwriters and as performers, and we've loved being here. We've been wanting to come to Singapore and all throughout Asia for like 10 years, and this is our first show. Last night was our first show in Singapore, and we got to connect with the fans that have been there since the very beginning.
I mean, some of them have been following our music, and we know them all from online, but when they're sort of there and you kind of get to connect and they're singing every word back to you, it's so special. Such a cool experience.
Good.
It's an overwhelming experience to be embraced by people after being gone for a few years. You just never know. For us, it never felt like a break because we were fighting to get our music released and we were continually creating. But to come back into market and for a song like "You Ruined Me," which is quite a different style of song for us, and to have everybody embrace it. A lot of people didn't even realize it was us. It was like one of the most Shazam songs because people were like, "Who is this?" Which is super cool as well. And
like that we're a little unpredictable like that, I guess. People weren't sure.
But also just have people connect with the raw emotion of a song like that and want to hear more is so overwhelming.
We absolutely want to.
I've been to Jakarta, but that's in Indonesia.
Yeah,
Jakarta.
Jess has been on a personal trip, but we're going to be releasing an album early next year, and then we're going to be making our touring plan.
So
we've got to make sure that we end up going.
Outside of music, well, we have a very great, a great relationship, but we've been making music together our whole life. Since we were 5 years old, we've been singing together. So we don't really, we connect through our musical lives as well as, when we have time apart now, we usually want to hang out together still. So we do. Sometimes we live apart in LA. We have different homes in LA. Lisa's got her 6 chickens in LA, and so sometimes we'll go like a week or 2 without seeing each other, but that's usually the longest amount of time. But otherwise we're like calling each other like, I want to see you. And like people are like, you just spent a month on the road with them, don't you want time apart? Like, no, we want to hang out.
We're very much inspired by different types of art, whether that be in museums, where we're traveling different, environments, music we're listening to at the moment. I mean, honestly, with things like Spotify and YouTube and with all the different avenues that you can create, you can discover new music now. I mean, there's so much stimulation constantly. We're big fans of movie soundtracks. We write about different relationships going on in our lives, different feelings. We draw inspiration from life, from everything we possibly can, and we turn that into music. And because experiences and life and music and all of our tastes and interests are constantly changing and evolving, so is our music. Personally, I'm changing from when I was 2 minutes ago. So I think that, we just constantly try to stay inspired. As far as music goes at the moment, oh my gosh, I mean, there's so many incredible, cool artists that you can discover online now, a lot of independent artists. But we're loving Flume, Australia.
Yeah, Flume's amazing. Love what the Chainsmokers are doing.
Chainsmokers are super cool.
I don't know, what's happening in pop right now is super cool. But then, we're huge rock fans. We love rock music. But, my favorite era of rock music was the 90s. I mean, 70s was excellent too, but I love grunge and, bright girl music and, rock and roll. I loved Hole, I loved Babes in Toyland, L7, Smashing Pumpkins. Some of which are amazing.
Yeah, well, we've had the honour of writing and working with Daniel Johns.
Daniel Johns.
Yeah.
Yes, I like him.
Yeah, we wrote a bunch of songs. He's just as wonderful as you can imagine too. He's really, to be in his presence, especially in a creative realm, was one of the biggest honours that we've ever had, absolutely. And he's a big fan of pop music.
Oh yeah.
So it was an honour for us to work with him, and then he said so many wonderful things about our music, which was just, obviously got a real kick out of it. So it's very cool.
Silverchair, I mean, we loved the Vines. They're not 90s, but they were. Do you remember the Vines? They played at the Jakarta festival that I was there for. Australia creates good rock music. I mean, it's always a little nerve-wracking when you're about to release a new song, but no, we were really excited about it. We couldn't wait to get it out.
There's something about that song.
Different.
I mean, it was different. It was the very first song we actually wrote for the album as well. So sometimes you'll complete a whole album and then you'll choose a single from that. I think it's a good indication of where the album's going.
Okay. And the album may be released on
Early next year.
early next year.
Yes.
Okay.
We have another single coming in November for that, and then
Second
early next
single.
year.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, we're the Veronicas, apa kabar Indonesia? We can't wait to come to Jakarta. See you soon.